there, I'm Sarah Thomas, and welcome to my YouTube channel, Teaching Without a Book. Are you a teacher who is tired of worksheets and packets? I know I was, and although there's a time and a place where students have to fill out a worksheet, I made it my mission to find ways to make them as engaging as possible. One of the ways that I was able to up-level my teaching and increase the engagement of worksheet-based activities was to turn them digital. There are many benefits to turning a worksheet into a digital format. It becomes a springboard for you to create more interactive activities with your students. What's nice about digital papers is they save you time. So once you've created your digital papers, you don't have to make copies. Plus, your students, whether they're virtual or in person, can engage in the very same activities. So you're only creating one resource, but it can be shared with any student regardless of their learning situation. Once you learn how to make any paper digital, you can take that skill and make many fun resources for all sorts of topics and learning situations. Well, I know that there are probably several ways to create a digital paper. Today I'm going to show you how I create mine. So let's just jump right in and get started. I decided to show you how to turn a research journal that I pulled from my TPT store into a digital resource. So right now I've already downloaded it and you can see it is in its PDF. To turn this digital, I'm going to open up a new tab and I'm going to go to Google Slides and I'm going to start a new blank presentation, and I want to get rid of the text boxes and the themes. I'm going to title it Digital Journal. Slides obviously is always going to start in landscape since its actual function is to be a slide presentation. However, my document that I want to put into a digital format is in the portrait. So I need to change my paper size, and to do that I'm going to go to File, down to Page Setup, and I'm going to choose Custom because there isn't an automatic setting to get it into a portrait, and I'm going to just put an 8.5 by 11 just like a regular piece of paper. And now I have a matching size page for the paper that I'm trying to turn digital. First, what I need to do is shrink this size down just a little bit so that I can make sure that I can get a full screenshot. And then I'm going to take a screenshot picture of this page. Now on a Mac, to take a screenshot, you're going to hold Command and then Shift and the number 4. If you're a PC user, there is a snipping tool that you can use and it does the same thing. And now I have my little plus sign and I'm going to start up in the left corner and I'm going to hold and I'm going to drag it all the way down to the bottom corner. And then when I release it, it automatically takes a picture of that page. My pictures, after I take a screenshot, will go just straight to my desktop, so then I know where to pull them from. Now I need to go over to what will become my digital document. I don't want to insert the picture the same way that I would clip art, because if I insert that image, it might look okay until the kids get in there and then they try to manipulate their new journal, but they are able to move this image all over the place. And we absolutely do not want that to happen. So when you're creating a digital paper, you don't want to upload the image as a picture. You want to upload it as the background. And so instead of a color, I can choose an image and I'm going to upload it from my computer just because that's where it goes after I take a picture. Now I can choose it as a background. And now you can see I cannot move that around. It is in there as the background. Now we can insert some text boxes because we're going to want them to be able to write their name and then the topic they chose. So I'm going to insert my text box and I'm going to try to line it up with the line. So I'm just going to tell them to type here. This is pretty small. When we create text boxes for kids in digital papers, you want to increase the text size because it helps them to see it better, and we can even make it red just to help it stand out for them. And I'm going to copy and paste this text box for the line down here for my topic. All I need to do for that is either to click on the text box and hit Command C, which would be Control C on a PC, and then Command V, and it's going to create a new text box. And then I can just pull it right down there so that I don't have to reformat and create a whole new text box. So now we have our cover page of our journal. So I'm going to go to the plus sign and the little drop down arrow and choose another blank paper. And I'm going to go back over to the original document. This will be page number 2. So again, I'm going to take a picture, and to do that, I'm going to use Command Shift and 4, and you might use your snipping tool if you're a PC user. And I'm just going to take a quick picture of this page, and
now I can come back over to my digital journal, and remembering that I'm not inserting that as a picture, but as a background. So I go to background, choose an image, and then I can select the new screenshot that I took, and done. Now that's all in there, unable to be manipulated. This page doesn't require any text boxes because it's just giving kids the steps for researching. So now we can add our third page, back to the plus sign with the arrow and choosing a blank page. I'm gonna go back to my presentation. So here's a researcher organizer. I'm gonna do this the same way I did for pages 1 and 2. So just like I did for pages 1 and 2, I'm going to upload it as an image in the background. Perfect. And now this one, we do need to add some text boxes for the kids to be able to type in. You don't have to add a text box, but I find that if you don't, the kids are going to spend more time trying to just figure out the whole text box situation rather than actually getting their job done. So I just find, for me, it's so much faster to put a text box in for them. It's just worth doing it. I'm going to insert a new text box and just let them know to type here. And I'm actually gonna leave the font this size, and that's because there's not as much room for them to write in this box. So I just wanna make sure that they have enough room to do that. So I'm gonna leave it at a size 14, but I will go ahead and just change the color so that it stands out. And now, like we did before, I can Command or Control C, and I can Command or Control V to copy. And so I'm just gonna go ahead and I'm gonna create text boxes in all of these bubbles by copying and pasting. So just a quick comment about text box in the formatting. Just make sure that when you're adding your text boxes that they do fit inside whatever shape students will be typing in. We wouldn't want it to come out here because then their text is going to come out of the bubble. So just make sure that you are always lining it up to keep everything neat. I'm going to go through and I'm going to add these last 2 pages the same way that I did pages 1 through 3. And so now we have what was a paper-based journal in a digital format for our kids to use digitally. To share this with your students, what you're going to do is you're first going to come over to the share button on the right, and you're going to go down to where it says get link, and you're going to make sure that it's not on restricted, but that it's on anyone with the link. And then you're going to choose done. What you don't want is to share this document with all of the students. You don't want them to all have access to this one document because you want them to all manipulate their own journals. It would be like handing them all the same piece of paper. Instead, what you're gonna do is you're gonna come up to the web address and you're gonna look right up here to where the word edit starts. Right after that /. You are going to erase all the way through the word edit up to the /, and you are going to type the word copy. This is going to force your students to create a copy of this resource so that way they all have their own. So this new address with the word copy as the end will be the one that you share with your students. Then you can either make it a hyperlink or put it into their Google Classroom, or you share it however it is that you would share any other link. So I'm just going to quickly create a hyperlink to show you. I'm taking our new web address that ends with copy and I'm changing it into a hyperlink. So now if I click on this, it's going to tell me that I need to make a copy, and it's going to open up a whole separate copy that I would be able to work in, and it's called copy right here, copy of digital journal. And just as a management tip, I've taught my students just to come up here and erase copy of and replace it with their last name. That way it helps me to stay organized too. And that's how I turn my files that are really meant to be a paper-based activity into a digital activity.
I hope you found this content helpful helpful and that you took away some things that you can implement into your classroom right away. If you have any other questions or if you'd like to dig deeper into this topic, please just leave some comments and I'd be so happy to make more videos on this topic for you. I would really appreciate it if you would help me to reach other teachers who might find this content valuable by sharing this video, and don't forget to hit the notification bell so that you too won't miss any new episodes. Thank you so much for joining me today and for watching the video all the way to the end. Now go use those creative brains and make education amazing.